Hello and welcome to Axel does things he's not used to. This is my third attempt at a video for putting out on YouTube. I have for the last 2 to 4 days made some progress since the last video. Not sure exactly how many days it is since I last posted a video of some length about my current project, which is a gift to my friend Dakota. They do not know the exact layout of the geckos. They know it's about geckos because they specifically wanted them. And the pattern itself I'm following looks like this. The black dot is supposed to indicate an open square, like those around. The reason it's black is because I could not literally see that it was an open based on having drawn the pattern like this instead of just filled out. But I wanted to be able to count the squares. I think the last update I did were like 2 or 3 rows in, and now it's gotten to be like this. So about halfway done with this particular gecko. It's supposed to be made into something like this, but the one I'm making now with this kind of color is supposed to be down here. They are supposed to be put together like this, as I did with this one. So I will then have 4 geckos pointing at a cross. That's good. I have 2 left based on the amount of yarn thingy I have. I'm still not sure how, but I kind of want to try and make it so that the last 2 ones are going in a circle around, if that makes sense. I should have had 4 or been able to make 4 more. I do not have those yarns and I am not willing to buy more just to have a lot more of these boxes with Dharma cotton yarn. I'm sorry, I had some eye booger. Because they were something I were just trying out. My phone has been sleeping. I'm sorry for that. And it's not my favorite thing to work with. I am sorry I had to open the top of my pants because it was slightly tight, so it kind of rubbed on my belly and started to hurt, which is not good. So then I had to fix that. I have been working a lot on my bigger project these few days, also while binge watching TV series and or movies. I have had a lot of fun doing that, but after a while you kinda need a break, and that's why I'm having 2 projects ongoing, but one is very simple, easy to do, and the other is more time consuming and more of a bigger thing. It's almost done. What is that? Is there something on my phone? Okay. Um, it's more time consuming. I've been working on it for a month now. It's almost done. It's like 3/4 done, 2/3 done, something like that. Um, but it takes a while because of how thin the thread is and how much, because this thing is like this big or so. I don't know. And it will probably be tall of ish. It already is tall and long. Um, it's not um, the best yarn I'm using, although I love working with it because it's buttery smooth. But it has a tendency, although it's made of cotton, it still has this tendency to split and work in itself, so you kind of get this weird knot, so you have to frog some knots and try again. And I don't like having to frog when working with a yarn. I understand if I have made a mistake myself, but when doing something simple as making a slip stitch or single chain and then having to frog because the yarn split and decided on its own to work in the middle of the thread instead of letting the hook go around and bringing it with through the loop, etc. I love the store where I got the yarn for the bigger project. I love it. I was so unsure of the size of thread I was using based on and what would actually fit for my very thin needle. I can show you. It's really small, as you can see. I'm not sure if the camera even wants to recognize the tip. Ish. There, you can barely see it now. It's 0.75 millimeters from Tulip, and I am never going to use another brand of hooks if I can avoid it. Ever since a friend of mine in Ålesund suggested trying these hooks, I've been hooked. Pun intended. Terje is also the one who introduced me to this thin thread making, if I can say it like that. He's going way thinner than me. His choice, not mine. I don't mind, but I think I'm good with 16/2 size thread. It's thin enough for me, and I see it clearly. I don't feel any need to go any thinner, and hence having an even thinner needle. My needle is small enough as it is. I also want to tell you something I experienced a little while ago. I was told of a reaction to my first filet crochet, like the type of crochet I'm making here, that I had actually finished and not frogged everything on for not being able to actually finish it. Um, that person is in my family. I can say as much as she was I she is my grandma, and she is quite religious since 2009. She had this revelations thingy in her sleep and turned overnight from basically anti-religion till super religious. According to her, she saw Jesus. I am not sure. I don't question her. I do believe she did experience something, but the first 3 to 4 years, she tried immensely to convert me uh, from not believing. Either way, uh, she had been nagging to my mom about not getting any crocheted or handmade stuff in general. So I decided on a whim that my dragon, which I made just for fun and to try something, uh, was to be sent to her as a sorry it's taken so long to actually make something for you. And initially she called me. She was so happy about it. But behind the scenes, she kind of tried to put some symbolic meaning to it. I mean, come on. You can clearly see I'm not the typical A4 thinking person. What's the wording? I've always been that kid who was obsessed with dragons, and I still am, which is also why I wanted to make this dragon. And I have a few other dragons lined up in my picture pile on my phone to make for myself, or perhaps put in some kind of garment. I am not sure yet, but I want to make them either way because it's dragons. And I can understand her not seeing it being a dragon at first. I can understand it and I don't blame her for it. What I do blame her for is trying to put some religious symbolic over it, like um, behind her words, according to my mom, she almost hinted at it being like some kind of omen like or satanic meaning. And this is where I am so happy my mom just spoke up, which she often does. Um, but she, on my behalf, got very sad and slightly angry, which is understandable because it was just a dragon made in a month that I sent on a whim because she wanted something and I had not made something for her for a while. She told my grandma to not put any religion to it. Just accept that it's a dragon. It's from me. I'm a kid who likes dragons. What's the problem? And after a few minutes, according to what my mom said, my grandma did accept that she was at fault, and she said sorry. I don't speak much to her because when I can speak on the phone, she's often gone to bed because I'm a night person and not a day person. And it happened. I'm not mad at her by any means. I kind of find it funny because at least she tried to read into the picture, but at the same time, assuming the worst at start is something I also have to work on. I am not good with with that exact thing sometimes. I know that. I'm trying my best to not judge a book by its cover, but at the same time, it's a human thing to judge, to try make sense of things in their own way based on belief systems and whatnot. Mm, I am also looking forward to um, my next big project after the one I'm doing now. I honestly do not want to um, tell on YouTube what it is, but it is a gift for my dear friend in Bergen, who really likes this character I'm making, and I'm hoping for it to be done by uh, October the latest, but hopefully by the end of August, which starts tomorrow because it's the 21st July now. Um, and the next project is going to be a slightly chibi, cartoony head of a sloth for my friend Samuel in Sweden. He is a very, very close friend of mine. And again, I'm sorry for not speaking so much to you as I should, but I have too much to do in usual, and I often forget that Messenger is something I should pay attention to. I believe that's also kind of part due to having too much social media for the last few years, especially between 2016 and 2022, something like that. I used to be on social media almost 24/7. I got kind of tired of it, but I still have them, uh, especially Facebook, due to family and friends and seeing some updates of what they are doing, and also to go on those groups who talk about crochet, knitting, and so on. I am not going to bore you anymore with my rambling. Um, but I hope you did enjoy the video. I will continue to make videos, and not because I am good at it or ashamed of how bad it is, so I'm trying to get better. I'm just trying to record me having fun and talking about things I like, what I have experienced, um, and I'm also very excited to show you the result of this project I'm working on for my friend Dakota. They mean a lot to me, and I really hope that this homemade present will bring them joy whenever they watch it. I also want to give a shout out to a few YouTubers who's inspired me to embrace my fear, or rather face it, and actually make videos. I don't do much. I often stop and have to think of what I'm going to say because I struggle with talking. That I do in Norwegian as well, so um but yeah, the YouTubers are Crochet Vision, TL Yarncrafts, Elise Rose Crochet, Holy Orna, and one I have frankly never got the name of. I think you can find her if you search up Will It Crochet sewing pattern. She's made this amazing video of her making this kind of hood based off of sewing pattern uh, measurements. She made the starting foundation row, crocheted up, added as the curves went, and decreased, and then made a few pieces that eventually turned out to be some kind of sweater-like hoodie thingy. It was amazing, and I highly recommend checking out that video. I also want to give a shout out to a few friends and family who's been supporting of me wanting to make videos. They told me, like, you're good at crocheting, you're good at doing things with your hands. If you want to share the tips and tricks you have and talk about it, do it. You know what you're doing. Usually. You often wing it, so, but I think most people wing it when they're doing things. Um, but I also will give a huge shout out to my mom, who's never made me feel bad about mistakes or anything of the dozens of things I started but never finished as a child. All she ever did was encourage me to keep going, keep trying. She herself made a lot of knitting stuff and crocheting stuff as a child, and since I, from a very young age, have had the same passion, but according to her, much stronger, mostly because of my autistic brain, I believe, I don't know. She keeps telling me every time I send an update of my current project how proud she is and that she loves it, and she's kind of jealous sometimes. And I'm happy that she likes them, and so for my grandma, of course. Um, the one who taught me to crochet as a child, who started with knitting, was my grandma on my dad's side. she is a video or two in itself in explaining things. Uh, I don't have any contact with her. I obviously miss her because she used to be a kind of big part of my childhood, based on me spending every summer at her and grandpa's place in Sweden as a child from like 2004 till 2013, I think. Um, I'm, despite the difficult relationship with her, where I also don't have contact with her today, which is kind of sad, but at the same time not there. Uh, she taught me how to crochet, and I'm so happy for it. I honestly kind of believe she helped me find this passion in crocheting in general. I'm sorry for the noises, but my fingers are stiff. Um, I would not be here knowing what I know about crochet and knitting for that matter if it had not been for her. She did also encourage me to try when the first thing I learned to do was a basic square with a single stitch crochet stitch. I tried and tried and tried, and I made so many errors, but everyone does in the start. Well, there's just very few who can do things like that. But yeah, she gave me a gift, and I thank her for that. I also want to give a small shout out to all my friends who keep encouraging me to make more stuff, to never give up, and love what I do. And I want to make something for those most special to me in time. But my time is limited. It takes time with thin thread to make something, and eventually those who deserve to get something which I am on good terms with will get something. But that's just who I am. Um I don't remember if I made a complete shout out to Dalebutikken, but they deserve a lot of good credit. They helped me find the thread size I'm needing for my hook because I knew what hook I was using, never knew the thread size. They had this online store which were amazingly good to navigate. I just had to search this thread size and I found this huge amount of different kind of thread types and colors, and the customer service there, mm, I love them. They are so nice. They help me, and I probably said this earlier, but they help me, and I think they might have gotten a customer for life from me. I don't think I'll ever end up buying my main yarn supply from anyone else. Uh, and that says a lot. because I am very loyal when I first find something I like. But if I find something new, I might switch over, but that's very hard. I will make a new video, most likely a much shorter one, the next time I feel the urge to share something from my life, rambling about and showing the progress of my work. So I hope you're looking for the next one. Bye!